Hello, hello everyone. Welcome to Learning Life. Nope, that's not it. Playing with my fun little messages. Hope everyone's doing well. Nope, that's not it either. I've got a thumbs up from the peanut gallery. That's it.
You can't speak louder. Your voice volume is still low.
Okay, my voice volume is still low. Let me do.
Compared to the music.
Okay, let's do some adjustments. Let's tune that a little bit. I don't know what I just did there, but hopefully that works out all right. How's everyone doing this evening? Are you staying warm? Yep, there's my name. I gotta figure out all these buttons here. There we go. Sorry about that. The font is really small. I gotta figure out how to make it bigger. So welcome to Learning Live. We are here on another Tuesday evening. Hopefully we've got lots of you joining in here. I see some eyeballs. That's fantastic. Valentine's Day is coming up. We actually have plans this year. That is very exciting. Usually we are just crazy running around and doing all the things, and this year we are being a lot more intentional about taking some time, having just some quality time together, all of that good stuff. So yeah, Valentine's Day is coming, and I thought I would pull out a die from Trinity Stamps. I'll show it to you in just a second here. But you can use it for birthday. You can use it for Valentine's, which I'm about to show you. You could use it for Galentine's if you want to give a card or a special gift to a friend. And we're actually going to make a little box for it to go into. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that. I've got a couple of other samples to show you. And now that I'm done playing with my buttons, let's get right into the demo. There we go. So this is what I've been working on. This is from the circle-shaped card from Trinity Stamps. This is obviously the carrier sheet. I've got my die set over here on a large magnet, and on it, as a set, if you just got this set, you can make this really super cute donut-shaped card. Here I've just cut it in half and put it on a standard card, but you've got all the icing, you've got the donut hole, and you've got all kinds of sprinkles. That's what comes in the shaped card set. But then you can get some add-ons as well. So, and I think I left that in the other room. There is a stencil that you can make this adorable little waffle card. It's got the little pat of butter, it's got the syrup, it's got the waffle shading, and this would be really fun if you were going on a breakfast date, or if you're someone like me. I've got a kid in my family who absolutely loves waffles, so this will be really fun. It's not quite finished yet. There is a little mini waffle stamp from Lawn Fawn as well that had some cute sentiments that I was going to add. But we left the stamp set at the store, so that'll have to wait, and I will do some photography and share with you that when it is all finished. There is also a cute little alien die set that goes with this shaped circle card. Let me find it here in my pile. So here is that little alien UFO. It's called UFO Hello. So if you've got guys or gals who like the outer space, this one was super quick and easy to put together. I used some glaze and glue on his eyes, and it is just really super cute. You know what, and if you got really clever, I'm sure you could put lights in here as well and make it light up. But I had a lot of fun just playing with this guy. Matt, you really are going to have to help me with comments tonight. I'm having trouble reading the screen, so okay. We'll have to play with the font and figure that out. Or maybe I just need some new glasses, which is also the case. So both of these can work either on their own or with that circle shaped card, so you can make that card. we've made shaped cards before, and the another way that you can make it is you can just cut 2 circles, do a little score line on the back. But I really like how this gives you that shaped card. This will fit in an A2 envelope. It is a 4 1/4 inch diameter, and it just really makes it really nice and cohesive and easy to play with. But let's get back to our donuts. So this is, like I said, this is me just playing with the die, and there is a stamp set as well that gives you, let me find a piece of white paper to put underneath here so we can see it better. So this has all the sentiments, it's got some little sprinkles, and it's got this great big swoosh of icing glaze. So on this sample card here, I did it with white embossing powder so that you get that nice shiny glaze type look. And you know what, even if your embossing isn't perfect, mine certainly isn't. Actually, there we go. My glaze isn't perfect, but you know what, when you go to Tim Hortons, when you go to a donut shop, glaze is not perfect. It's okay for it to be a little bit messy. So that is just the basic card. And then here, and I keep taping this and it's not sticking, so I'll have to use a stronger tape. Here's what we're going to make tonight. We're going to make this cute little, it's called a pizza box, but I'm going to call it a takeout box. And then inside, look at that. You've got this super cute little donut shaped card that you can give to someone special for Valentine's Day. So I'm going to dig out my cardstock. I've got my die cutting machine off to the side, and let's get this, let's make this together. So you could grab the die, grab the stamp set from our store. You can make a little box like this, or maybe you're just inspired to do something else inside the pizza box, but we're going to make it all together. All right, so this is my white paper that's going to be for our box. We're going to use that later. We're going to start with the donuts, so let me get that out. There we go. Yeah, I don't know how to make that font bigger, so Matt's going to help me with comments. So if you've got a specific question, please put the word question in the comments. Matt's got it, but it will certainly help us to see if it's a question or if you guys are just chit-chatting. Let's put that off to the side here. All right, so the colors that I chose to use tonight. Now I got to remember where I put it. Oh, I was smart. I put it in its craft stacks. I knew I pulled it all together. So I'm going to be, of course, using Spellbinders cardstock, which is my absolute favorite. I have this one here, which is Alabaster. This one here, I believe, yeah, that one is called Fawn. So it's a nice kind of caramely brown. And I've got this one here, which is called Truffle. Perfect. Oh no, that is not truffle. That is acorn. That's okay. Yeah, that's acorn. And I'm going to do it, I think I'm going to do it in reverse to what I did my sample one. I'm going to give us a chocolate donut with a, still with this kind of warm caramel layer. And then I'm going to do this alabaster color, which will mimic a vanilla icing here on the top. And then we'll do some chocolate drizzle on that vanilla icing to create yet another yummy donut. I've got some leftover sprinkles from what I die cut and when I was making my sample, so we'll just pull from that and we'll talk about all of those things. So let's tuck that off to the side, put our box away. So I said we were going to do a chocolate donut. So in order to prep the die for cutting, you do need it to be 8.5 this way. So it is It is just the width of an 8.5 by 11. The card itself is going to be 4.25. If I were cutting this fresh, I would probably cut it 4.5 just to give myself some wiggle room. But this is already at 5.5, so I'll just have some extra that will go in my scrap pile. I see Matt's already answered, but there is a question here. What is the weight of the Spellbinders cardstock? It is 100 pound. It is a nice heavy weight, so especially for doing card bases, this is a really good paper, really good, nice sturdy paper to use. So I'm just, here, let me come up on camera here. I'm just going to line this up. I've got one little piece, got one little piece of tape, but it's folded over on itself, so I think I will just start fresh. You don't need a lot of tape to hold it down, but it is handy just so that it doesn't shift too much. All right, and this is going to go edge to edge, but I'm just going to put my tape here so that it doesn't wiggle when I move things around. All right, so over here I go. Sorry, you're not gonna, it's not on camera, but you guys know how to die cut. I'll peek in from the side. All right, so there is our chocolate donut base. I know it's an age-old question. How small does your scrap have to be for you to throw it away? I'm discovering that I keep smaller scraps than I even thought I did. Right now I have all my scraps organized and stored in, this is one of the old style of Totally Tiffany bags. I'm planning on moving them over. I find this is too small for me. I've got 8.5 by 11 tab dividers, and then that way I'm going to put them in so that I've got my red scraps and then my red paper together. But as I was looking for things, I realized that my scraps, what I'm saving and what I'm afraid to throw out is smaller than what I thought I would. If someone asked me, I would have thought that at a certain point I would throw things away. So here's a question for you. How big are your scraps before you throw them away? Is it 1 by 1? Is it a strip? Do you only keep big pieces? I know it's a controversial question, but I'd love to hear in the comments what you guys like to save. All right, so that...
If you were asking Chris, she says everything.
Chris, yes, I know Chris does save everything. And as I'm working with more and more dies that have really small pieces, I'm saving those small pieces because I know I can stretch them that much further. But once that file folder, once your organization system starts to really be too bulky, then it's time to get rid of some stuff. All right, so my next layer, if I go over here to my die set, we've got these 2 circle layers. This one here is kind of that big open pat of icing, I guess is our smear of icing. I'm not exactly sure what to call it. So that I'm going to do out of the fawn. And then we've got a smaller one here. Now this one's interesting. It does not have a hole. There is a hole that is separate that you can add if you want it to be an actual donut. But if you would rather more of a, Boston cream style, without the hole, then you can do that without the hole on top as well. I know Boston cream is one of Matt's favorites, so maybe between now and Valentine's Day, I will make him a Boston cream donut card for Valentine's Day. All right, without further ado, let me grab my trimmer because I don't need a piece quite this big. Let's cut it down in half. That off to the side, and while I've got the trimmer out, I'm going to cut this one down. That nice, let's call it French vanilla. It really is, the color's name is alabaster, but we can call it French vanilla for tonight. Makes me want of ice cream now too. All right, so let's cut this guy. Make sure he's all the way on. He's nice and big. I'm not too worried about lining anything up, so I don't need to tape him down. Sorry if the table jiggles just a little bit. I have not yet found a work surface that does not jiggle when you die cut. There's that. Keep that little hole. That's a nice little scrap. You never know what we could use it for. And let's go here with the alabaster. And I'm going to be brave. And I'm actually going to pop that hole right in here. If you wanted to be very specific, you could cut it out first, trace this hole, and figure out exactly where the center is. But I think we're going to be okay making this work. So let's just put that here. It's just a little fluffy on my paper. Put that.
It says she keeps everything, and then she stores them in 12 by 12 iris containers by color.
Okay, so Kim says that she stores everything, or keeps everything and stores it in an iris case, which is a great idea. She's planning on doing a page with all her scraps for the S for our alphabet suit challenge. Great idea. And Melissa saying she loves the donut. Hello from Nova Scotia. Hello, Nova Scotia friend. Hopefully things are not too bad out your way weather-wise. We're doing not too bad here in Ontario, though I say that having spent the entire day in my basement. You know what? I'm looking at this. This almost looks like an egg. So you change up the colors. You could use this for a lot of different things. It does not have to be a donut. Maybe you've got eggs that you're doing sunny side up. But that's just going to nest on here. And yeah, there is a little bit of that donut hole showing through. But it's all good.
What company is this from?
This is from Trinity Stamps.
Okay, I thought I saw a sample of somebody else doing an egg on a card somewhere, but
Oh, maybe.
it wasn't Trinity.
No, this is meant to be a donut, but you could make it a bagel. You could make it Boston cream, as we've talked about, and you could have a lot of fun. Okay, so I've thrown this little piece away, but I'm actually going to bring it back. So this is the piece where we cut the French vanilla icing out of. I need this for my stamping because I do want to put some nice chocolate glaze on here, just like on this one, and this will help me to die cut it or to stamp it nicely. And my mini Misty has gone a walking. Good thing I've got a second one. I was prepping for our Make and Mingle on Thursday night, so I bet that it has gone in the bin to take for Make and Mingle. Make and Mingle is our in-person learning live, if you will, that we are going to try on Thursday, the first Thursday of every month. Got a special project planned for that. So if you are local, you want to come in and see us, that's starting at 5 o'clock. Need to get our stamp set here, and actually I'm going to put a little piece of copy paper in behind here just so I don't get ink on my foam pad. Let me come up on camera just a little bit there. So that's in place. That's in place. And let's get our stamp, our chocolate glaze. So there is a spot right in here where, oh, you can't see it there, where it will skip the hole, if you will, but it does overlap a little tiny bit. So I'm going to go like that. I've got the glaze coming off all the sides of this. And I'm going to dig out my brand new 49 Market ink. She has a beautiful, beautiful brown called Cold Brew that I am going to use to make our chocolate icing. Oops. Making a mess over here. Doing it in the Misty so we can do a couple of layers if we have to. there's the baby wipe I was using earlier. Okay, scooch it over, give it a little rub, and our icing is getting this nice chocolate drizzle on it. It did come up, but because I've got this template, I know that it's going to go back in place where it needs to go. Let's ink it up one more time, get a little bit more intensity. Bloop, 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 bloop. And is it straight? I think it's straight. There we go. Look at that. Look at that beautiful icing on our donut. All right, so that's going to go aside. Let me...
Not enough.
Not enough chocolate icing?
No.
Well, I'm going to put some sprinkles on it, so hopefully that's enough. All right, so that's cleaned up. I don't need the glaze anymore, so that can come back and go back on our stamp set. Voila. All right, let's just put this away for now, and we'll probably come back for it. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use, this is my absolute favorite color of 49 and Market, the salted caramel. I'm just going to do a little bit of ink blending around those edges to give it a little bit of dimension.
Is salted caramel your favorite color because you like salted caramel or because you like the color?
Salted caramel is, I will say it's both. It is my favorite. It is one of my favorite flavors, but I actually really do love the color. The color that this comes out. So let's do some cold brew on the chocolate first. Just a nice light little bit to give it some oomph, give it some direction or dimension, and I'm only doing it on the front. I won't do it on the inside or on the back. So it's helpful to keep your card closed. This is a nice little finishing touch. So there is my chocolate donut. And then we'll go salted caramel on the fawn, and it is stunning together. That's how I made the waffle. So the waffle was the fawn cardstock and then 2 layers of the salted caramel ink. That's all this is. It's 2 different layers of the stencil. One is just the blocks, the other one is the shadow, but it layers so nicely that you get those 2 tones without trying too hard. Matt, if you have a second, the waffle stencil is drying on the dryer in the laundry room. Could you please grab it for me? He's gone to grab it. And again, just giving it this edge makes it feel a little bit more dimensional, a little bit more realistic. Thank you.
Which one?
All of them.
All 3?
Yep. So this is the waffle. There's this one here that is the individual segments. Then you layer this one on that gives you the shadows. And then there's this guy here, which is the syrup and the little pat of butter. And what I want to do too is dig out some of my lawn fawn faces and put a face on the butter. I think that would be super cute. Or I might take that stamp set from Lawn Fawn with the waffle and grab one of my Lawn Fawn mice and have him standing with a small waffle on the big waffle, just being all cute. All right, so we've got these guys all done, and you know what? No, I don't think I'm going to put anything on this one. I think this one is good. That really does make it pop. Look at that. Look at how yummy that looks. It looks so nicely baked. I just wanna dig in. But I won't. I know it'll give me lots of fiber. but I don't think eating paper is necessarily the best idea. All right, so let's just glue this all together now. My Nuvo glue has gotten a good workout today. Just in time, we just got our first shipment of Nuvo glue back in stock since I think like October or November. It's been a little while.
Not in stock yet.
It's not in stock yet? Oh, it's not in the system yet. But the box is here, and I've got a bottle to test to make sure it didn't freeze. Didn't freeze, because it can be chilly out there. Any questions, Matt?
No.
Okay. So, getting glue everywhere. All right, so now I've got my icing layered on top of my donut. And I'm okay that the actual card part doesn't have a hole in the middle. I think everybody gets the idea that it is a donut, and I can always hide that, or at least camouflage it a little bit, that with that sentiment there. All right, so there's our donut, but we're not done yet, because we can add sprinkles. So there's two ways to add sprinkles. The stamp set has some little sprinkles, but the die set also has sprinkles. Now, I didn't use these little bitty guys. I used the circles, and I used the little, I'm going to call them dashes, the little rectangle pieces. I'm sure there's an actual name for the shape of them. But what I did is I took some Spellbinders liner sheet. Oh, let me come up here. Spellbinders liner sheet, and put it on the back of my cardstock, and then die cut it out. So now these guys are already sticky. I do not need to put glue on here, and I can just use my tweezers and put them into place. But before I do that, maybe what I should do is put my sentiment on so I know where it's going. All right, so let's grab... Trying to decide what color. Maybe what I'll do, maybe I will do, so what colors of paper did I pull for? I grabbed some green and some teal and some pink. So what if I did a teal banner? What you looking for?
I need the packaging.
Oh.
Sorry.
That's okay.
So everything you've been doing is based on this?
Yes. All right, so there is a little teal piece. This is, I'm gonna guess it's Seaside. Do I know my colors? I sure do. That is Seaside, and I think that'll make a really nice little banner going across here. What sentiment should we do? We've got, I do not know what I would do without you. There's a whole, H-O-L-E, lot to love about you. You're a sprinkled donut in a bagel world. You're a year older, but you do not look it. I don't know, I think let's do, I do not know what I would do with it. Let's do that one. And I'm going to be brave. I'm going to stamp this with a block. I'm not going to get out the Misty for this. I'm going to go brave. I'm going to just stamp this right away. And I'm actually going to use a brown ink. It's not quite as harsh as a black. And it's going to go really nicely with all of the brown, all of the chocolate that we've got going on here. So please forgive me if my head gets on the camera. Or, yeah, you can see it. All right, we're good. We're good. Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you want to come around so I can hear you on the microphone?
A couple people are asking in YouTube and Facebook.
Okay.
Just to maybe recap this, what set you're using.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Let me just finish stamping first.
And what comes with it.
Okay, I can absolutely do that. So we're You guys are asking me to recap what I'm using, which I am more than happy to do. Let me just finish stamping this. All right, we'll let that set while I recap. So the main set that I'm using is the circle-shaped card from Trinity Stamps. It is, it comes with the card itself, which makes this double donut, or double circle. As I'm looking at it, there's lots of other things you could use that for, but it is meant to create that circle-shaped card. It does have a little score line down the center. Sorry, I buried it here in cardstock, but let me grab this out here. So there is a little score line down the middle to help you fold it, and it will fit. So it will fit this way 8.5, and it'll fit this way 4 1/4. I like to cut my paper a little bit wider just so I've got that wiggle room, but from edge to edge, if you're using 8.5 by 11 paper, you can get it on a full width of 8.5. In this die set, you've got the card, you've got the 2 different icing pieces. So this was the one that we did out of the fawn. This is the one that we did out of the alabaster. There is a donut hole if you want to add that in. There's these 2 little hearts, and there is 3 different sprinkle shapes that you can cut out. And like I said, I use the Spellbinders liner paper on the back to turn. Oh, that one doesn't have the, I did the wrong side. This one had the logo. So Spellbinders liner paper, which is a double-sided adhesive sheet. And I just put a little strip on the back. Then I die cut it, and that turns your die cuts into stickers. So you don't have to worry about trying to get glue on these little bitty pieces. And it really does make it quite a bit easier. So that's the main die. Then there is a stamp set that is called A-Glazing instead of Amazing. A-glaze-ing. And that gives you the glaze, the drizzle of icing that goes on top, and it gives you all of the sentiments. And I'm having trouble getting that liner sheet line back up. And it gives you, there's 4 different shapes of sprinkles on there. Let me grab that white paper because it's not showing through. There you go. So those are the 2 main pieces I'm using. The other things I showed you was that waffle, which is called Layered Waffle Stencil. And then there is the alien as well. And I'll bring him back out. It's called UFO Hello. So that's this little guy here. And that is using the shaped card as well. Whoops, and now he went rolling away. So that is using the shaped card as well. So I'll bring these back out and we can talk about those at the end. All right, we're all caught up, I think. We've got our glaze, we've got our layers, I've got my sentiment. So let's get our sentiment banner into place. I'm going to trim him down. And honestly, this is where I eyeball. That gives me that cute little banner. Let's take my scissors. Just gonna snip, snip, snip. The way I do this is I go up the center, then I go from the corner to the top of the snip, and corner to the top of the snip. Get those little crumbs out of the way. Ha ha, crumbs, ba-dum bump. And I need to grab my foam tape. Or my foam squares, as the case may be. So let's just put a piece of foam on each end, one in the center, throw those out. And I don't want this right across the center. I'm going to come down just a little bit because just like this guy here, we're going to cut a little heart that'll go on here as well. So that's that. Trying to find a little pink scrap. Doo-doo-doo. Will it fit on there? I should be able to get a heart on there. Especially this skinny heart. Alright, so that's that guy. Put my heart back so I don't lose him. I'm just going to tuck the heart underneath, and then we can put our sprinkles on and our card is all done. Oh, my glue keeps getting just that little bit of skin on it. So let's tuck that right in there. And now I'm going to start with some pink sprinkles. Come on. Trouble when they're this small is peeling that backing off, but certainly easier than trying to get glue on it. See, that one came off on its own. Little pink sprinkles, and I'm really just putting them randomly around the donut. Come on, stick. Stick. Do I do one more? Let's do one more like here. Oh. Let's do some blue ones. And with these kind of stick-shaped ones, make sure you put them in different directions so they literally look like they've been sprinkled on versus lined up. Come on. Do have to have a little bit of patience with these guys. And I'll show you another way you can do it if you would prefer to use the stamps when we go to do the outside of our box. So let's do some green ones. And then our card's done. The card itself is done. Well, maybe not done. Maybe one more step that I can show you. And I think I'll just show you on the other version because it will take some dry time. And knowing me, I wouldn't let it dry enough and it will get all over my fingers. Nope. So the one last step you could do is if you had glossy accents, or I've got the Spellbinders glaze and glue here, is you could go over the sprinkles and give them a shine. So here, hang on, there we go. I don't know if it's showing that well on camera, but I've put the glaze and glue on all of those little sprinkles in order to make them a little bit more dimensional and give them that glossy shine. So it's a really nice finishing touch, but I would absolutely make sure you do that the very last thing before you put it aside, because it does take a little bit of time to dry. So
you put the glossy accents on after you put them on the donut?
Yes, I put them on after I put them on the donut because it would be way too hard to get it on otherwise. All right, so really that is our donut. That is our donut card. You can, if you really wanted to, you could put a white circle on the inside so that you could write on it, or just use a white gel pen. But we're not finished yet, because what we're going to do is we're going to make a cute little box to put our donut in so that it looks like a whole package. And this pizza box I have made many times before. I've adjusted for sizing a few different times so that you can get what you want inside, but it makes your card look like a gift.
What size envelope would you use for all of it? If you were just sending the card, what size envelope?
Okay, so the question is what size of envelope? This is 4¼ inches wide, so it is the same width as an A2 envelope. So that's what I would use. I would just use a standard A2 sized envelope to just send the card. The box, of course, is going to be different. I don't know that I would mail it in the box because that, of course, is dimensional and is not going to go through Canada Post standards. This is more if you are hand delivering it. You could also tuck a gift card inside. If you were just straight mailing this, you could put it in just a standard size envelope and away you go. Okay, so I'm going to get out my my white cardstock, and I just need to go over to the desk because I have lost my measurements. So let me just check. There it is. Here I thought it was all planned out, but this is what I do when I plan some score lines. I've just got it. I want each square to be 4½. That way it's a little bit bigger and it gives us a little bit of wiggle room with our donut. I want a 3/4 inch side for each one and 3/4 inch in the middle. So overall, our piece of paper is going to be 6 inches by 11¼ It is just a little bit bigger than an 8½ by 11, and I couldn't get it any smaller unless you wanted to go to 1/2 inches. You could do that, but I wanted that little bit of depth to still go with it. So this is already 6. I just have to trim off the advertising strip. Get out the big trimmer this time. And I'm actually going to use the trimmer that's right here on my scoreboard. So there's my 6. And I do need to trim it down to 11¼ This paper is My Colors White Smoke. It is a heavyweight paper because it's a box. I wanted it a little bit more hefty, but you could just use regular 80-pound cardstock. It would not make that much of a difference. I just wanted a little bit more heft to it. So now my piece of
Colors isn't available anymore.
No, but we still have some in the store.
Oh, do we?
Yep. So what Matt was saying is My Colors isn't in business anymore. It's not available, but we do still have some in stock. If you don't want the My Colors, any 80 to 100-pound paper will work for you. All right, so I'm 6 inches by 11¼ And what I'm going to do is I'm going to score 3/4 on one side, and I'm just going to cheat and go this way. So 3/4 inch is over here. And make sure if you've got one of these kinds of trimmers, put your blade to the top so you don't cut instead of score. So there's 3/4 inch there. I'm going to rotate it all the way around, do 3/4 inch again. Make sure you use the scoring blade, not the cutting blade. Ask me how I know. Now I'm going to do 3/4 on this end. And I have figured out that I'm going to do 3/4, 5¼ and then 6. That'll get me my remaining score line. That's my 3/4 here, plus the 4½ to get me 5¼ plus the 3/4 to get me 6.
Sounds like a lot of math.
It is a little bit of math, but it's all very symmetrical. So it does balance out pretty easily. All right. I like to do that way. Okay, so 5¼ is here, and then 6. That gets me my center score lines. And that's all. That's all there is to the scoring. Let's put that away. So let's see if you can see that here. So I've got a score line at the top, 2 score lines in the middle, 1 at the bottom, and then 1 on either side. Now we're just going to cut away some of the, actually no, we're just going to trim. So there's a little square here, there's a little square over here, and the same top and bottom. You're just going to do that little snip up to that first score line to make this tab. You're going to do the same over here to make this tab. And then you're going to do the same in the center. We're going to go snip and snip to make a tab. Same on the other side. Let's just do tabs, snip, 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 and snip. So I've now got a tab, and a tab. That's all the cutting. We're now going to fold on all those score lines. This way, and everything's all going in the same direction. So I'm pushing everything away from me. So one thing I like to do on boxes like this is I do like to give myself a little thumb notch so that it is easier to open the box. And I will tell you, I have done this wrong many times. You want to do that notch before you glue anything. So you could either use a circle punch, or you could use this Spellbinder's notch punch, which is this one here. I like the circle for this. Makes it feel a little bit more like a pizza box. So I'm going to pick one side that is going to be my top. They're both exactly the same, so it really doesn't matter. And I'm just going to come here in the center. I've already made marks on my punch where the center mark is. And just go like that. Boop. I think that hit the camera. It definitely hit my glasses. And now we've got our little thumb notch. Okay, now we can just take a little bit of tape. I'm going to use score tape for this one because my tape runner wasn't holding very well on my other one. I'm going to put a little bit of tape on each one of these tabs. You don't need a lot. A little bit will do ya. But because this is a box, because it's going to get open and closed a lot, you do want to make sure that it's nice and stuck. All right. So just little bits on those tabs. And then let's start. Notches our top, so let's start with our one that's the bottom. Peel that backing off. Peel the backing off. These tabs are going to fold in. They're going to fold up, and they're going to go on the inside to make a box. So just like that, that little tab is helping that box form. We're going to do the same with this one in the center. It's going to come in and attach to that bottom of the box. So the bottom is a full box on all four sides. The lid is only going to be attached at the front. So this can come up like this. This one can come up like this. See that little box forming? And then what's going to happen is once that box is formed, this is all going to fold over top, and they're going to be able to nest the bottom inside the top. So let's just finish the top. There we go. There we go. And we know, oh, what happened there? I missed a spot. I didn't put any tape there. Don't know how that happened. Luckily, it's easy to fix. Sticky, sticky soup wang. 1, 2. This is now folding inside the top to make a corner. fold inside the top to make a corner, and that will snug over top like so to make your pizza box. Sorry, I was way off to the side there for some reason. So there's your pizza box, or in our case, a donut box. So all that's left to do is decorate. So I cut some cardstock and some pattern paper here. I'm just going to quickly tape those down. Bringing in all the colors of the sprinkles that we were using. If you were really creative and clever with computer graphics, you could make yourself a little donut shop label if you wanted to. I've seen little pizza box labels be created. And I'm going to put the green inside. So one in the bottom. I don't think I got that centered very well because I was having trouble seeing. I can pull that up later if I so desire. That's gonna go there. And then our little card can just nest inside. Now, like my other box, if you wanted to put a message on the top, this is where I would take another piece. I'm going to take another piece of that, let's call it French vanilla, and I'm going to take the one without the hole, this guy here, quickly die cut it. And then I'm just going to use stamps this time. So I've got what sentiment. So let's do your sprinkled donut in a bagel world on the outside. Grab a different block because I didn't clean that other one off. You're a sprinkled donut in a bagel world. Like so. I clearly got too tidy before I started because I put my colored ink away. Let us grab Doll Face is the pink. Key Lime is the green, and Mint Chill, or was it? Yeah, we'll just do Mint Chill. So I'm going to grab a small block. Let's do the polka dots first. Man, my space is getting crowded. So let's just do... So if you didn't want to do the die cut sprinkles, you've got these cute little stamps that will help sprinkle your donut, if you will. And now I'm going to change to the pellet version. I really wish I knew what that type of sprinkle was called. Let's do some key lime. And you know what? The best thing about these kinds of donuts is there's no calories. But wouldn't it look cute if you had a little gift card in there? Sprinkles all over our donuts. There we go. And so this can just pop on the lid. And there you go. All right, let me make some space so that this looks a lot prettier, a lot less messy. And I would go and do the glaze and glue on this one as well. So again, here's my sample. Come on. There we go. This one's got the glaze and glue on the sprinkles as well. And those are our little boxes. So this guy can go inside. Doesn't that look just so darling? Absolutely darling. So that's that. And then just to remind you, you can also, sorry, you're going to get my arms. You could also do the donut just as a standalone. And you can use that shaped card to make a UFO card. That's using the UFO Hello set or a waffle card. Good enough to eat. So there you go. Let me get my screen up. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope I didn't make you too hungry. I hope you saw that making a really fun card is really quite easy. And you can use all your scraps, you can use all the bits and make some really fun and pretty things. If you are inspired by this, we would love for you to show us what you make. That's this message here. Make sure you're posting in our Paper Crafts Inner Circle.
He was asking what colors of ink did you use?
Okay, what colors of ink did I use? So for the chocolate, we used hang on, let me come back. So we used cold brew for the chocolate. I used salted caramel for that warmer brown. And then for my sprinkles, I used Dollface. I used key lime. Those are both two of the new. So cold brew, Dollface, and key lime are from the new 15. Salted caramel and mint chill, that was the tealy, the little teal color here, is from the original 15. All right. So D for donut. One of the letters in our alphabet soup challenge is the letter D. So hey, you've got a great entry right here. And Valentine's Day is coming. These are great for birthdays, teachers' gifts, all kinds of things. I don't think you could ever have a reason why a donut would not work. So we look forward to seeing what you make. Hopefully that you've learned something from this, and I have enjoyed crafting with you this evening. Thanks so much, everyone.